Today we're diving into one of the most layered, most tragic, and most satisfying storylines in all of Red Dead Redemption 2, the feud between the Grey family and the Braithwaites. Two old money families rotting from the inside out, sitting on secrets, lies, and a whole lot of stolen gold.
Allegedly.
We're talking Scottish immigrants, moonshine empires, stolen horses, a doomed love story, the suffrage movement, and one of the best missions in the entire game. And caught right in the middle of it all, the Vanderlyn gang, playing both sides. This one's got history, heartbreak, and a manner that deserves to burn. Pull up a stool, grab a whiskey, and get comfortable. I'm Sam.
I'm Zai.
And this is the Outlaw Haven. Starting with the Grey family. The Greys are a family of Scottish immigrants that came to America in 1755. They arrived in Scarlet Meadows and quickly established themselves at Caliga Hall, slightly inspired by Shirley Plantation, where they took advantage of slavery, also bringing in a high amount of tobacco and cotton. In 1806, Lucille Braithwaite gave the location of a significant sum of gold to Douglas Grey. After he got permission from Lucille, he stole that gold from the Braithwaites and stole more from his own family to help finance local abolition groups, causing each of the sides to believe that the other one stole the gold.
Yeah. No, we can actually find that letter in Lemoyne, kind of by the eastern edge, by like Sisika and stuff, by kind of towards Copperhead Landing. And yeah, you can find it.
I
It's
found that?
I don't know, but yeah, it's
Probably have.
like the little cluster of islands, like right before Sisika on like the east coast. But it's June 12th, 1806. My dearest Douglas, the mere act of writing your name weakens me with longing. My exile in Connecticut has endured barely 3 weeks, but it already feels like a lifetime since I last saw your wonderful smile. Why should the family into which I was born and a surname that was imposed on me dictate whom I can and cannot love? Like you always say, however, there are so many less fortunate than ourselves and subject to far worse, partially and narrow mindlessness. Deportation slaves into this county. Please take all that gold to the group I told you about. It should provide them with enough funding for another 2 years of operation so they can keep pressure on Congress to abolish the importation slaves into this country once and for all. Our two families are so blinded by adverse and bitterness that either they will not realize it is missing, or that they will assume that the other has stolen it from them. Then come for me, my love, as we planned, and we will flee somewhere far away down to South America or across Europe, where we can simply just live our lives as Douglas and Lucille, not as Master Grey and Miss Braithwaite. Yours always, Lucille.
I don't know if I've ever found that letter. Like, it sounds familiar, but I don't know. Maybe I found that in an early playthrough that I have not touched in a long time. I don't know.
It could have been, yeah.
The big thing here with Greys and Braithwaites is how this is similar to, it's compared to Hatfields and McCoys a lot, and also compared to Romeo and Juliet. What were the family names for Romeo and Juliet? I don't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But yeah, and it's like, even with, I did a little bit of research for like the Hatfields and McCoys for this episode, and really it's honestly not that too terribly inspired. Of course, the Hatfield and McCoys, they are more Appalachian type. We talked about it a little bit with our episode with Tori, not a whole lot, but they're living between like the border of West Virginia and Kentucky. And really, throughout that entire feud, it's not a whole lot of like overlap, aside from the fact that it's like still fighting with like the Confederacy during the war, and they both owned slaves and selling moonshine. And then, of course, the like the forbidden Romeo and Juliet type of a romance between who was it, Rosanna and Jauncey. But other than that, I feel like that was mostly like it between the two.
Like, it gets compared to the Hatfields and McCoys a lot, and I don't think it's really all that similar.
No.
Like the blood feud subject is about the only overlap there.
And then, like, considering they both fought for the South, and then the
Yeah.
moonshine business, and then of course the relationship. But that's
Yeah.
that. I feel like.
Yeah. Funny story though that I
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to tell when we were talking with Tori, when we started talking about the Hatfields and McCoys, and I totally wanted to bring this up and totally forgot and just didn't. So I married into the Hatfield family. My husband's on his dad's side is Hatfields. I went to the Hatfield family reunion last summer. It was a good time. But so when we were going through a lot of my in-laws' stuff in like their storage unit, my father-in-law gave me this old, it was like a document that was written about the Hatfields, like the history of the Hatfields.
Hmm.
And I've told you this story before, but I still think it's entertaining. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just me. So again, I don't know first names. I don't know who it was. I just know these were at the Hatfields. This was in the family history documents. One of the old Mama Hatfields was like 8 or 9 months pregnant. She had two kids already. One was like, I want to say like 5 years old, and the other was a toddler, like maybe like 18 months old, something like that, year old. And I wish I had this with me in front of me, but I can't find it for the life of me. Like, I think my in-laws took it back. So
Mm.
I'm paraphrasing, unfortunately, but I will try and get the story, hopefully, at some point. So Mama Hatfield takes her young children to the sawmill to visit their father while he's working. And Mama Hatfield's like big pregnant. And the older of the two kids, the like 5-year-old, is playing with a hatchet.
It's always a good start.
And he hacks off the younger sister's finger. And so big pregnant Mama Hatfield takes her children and carries them and is running through the sawmill, jumping over logs and shit, trying to get her baby's finger taken care of. And they go and they like reattach it with like honey and molasses. And the baby's finger reattaches and all is good. But then a few years later, history repeated itself. The same sawmill, same Mama Hatfield's pregnant again, and older kid now, like one of the other older kids, not the one from the last one. I'm assuming this is that infant. Hacks off the little sibling's finger, and pregnant Mama has to run her kids through the sawmill, get another finger reattached. Happened exactly the same. And then, like, there's, like, a Grandpa Hatfield that and they reattached it with honey and molasses, and he had to sit with his foot propped up so that it wouldn't move for, like, 2 months, 3 months, and wait for his toe to reattach with honey and molasses. And, like, a scientist, like, did, like, a study on it and did some, like, whole, like, article on it or whatever. Did some big study on this dude's toe, and he said he, like, confirmed the toe did reattach with honey and molasses. I think it even said, like, he got use of his toe back and everything,
Oh wow.
right? And then, like, my father-in-law told me that his dad, at one point, shot his toe off by accident, and they had to reattach it with, like, honey and molasses again or something, and I'm just like, "Okay, no Hatfields are allowed near any sharp objects," and I'm telling my husband, like, if he's got, like, a knife or anything and he's, like, cutting stuff, if he has a hatchet, hell no. Game over. I'm like, "You watch your digits, man. You're a Hatfield. It's a family curse. Protect your digits, Hatfields." Any other Hatfields listening to this, protect your digits. No sharp objects in your Hatfields.
That's
So
becoming a clip.
so that's my story.
That would be kind of a cool t-shirt, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, right? Put a, like, hatchet and then, like, write Hatfield on it and be like, "Watch your digits."
Mhm.
Alright, getting back into Red Dead Redemption. When the Vanderland gang arrives in Rhodes, Dutch being Dutch talks his way into becoming deputies of Sheriff Lee Gray. Arthur also finds Beau Gray, who asks him to help deliver a letter and a gift that you can sell to the fence in town for $10 if you really wanted to Penelope Braithwaite. Arthur finds Penelope sitting in a gazebo by the water on the Braithwaite Manor. Penelope states that she's planning to do a rally for the women's suffrage movement. Beau, fearing for her safety, will ask Arthur to stop her from rallying. In town, Arthur drives the wagon and then they run into Bo's cousins, Lane and Scott Gray. Arthur, John, and Javier will talk to Tavish Gray, the Gray's family patriarch, who hired them to steal some prized horses from the Braithwaite Manor. Later on in chapter 3, Arthur, Bill, Micah, and Sean go into town because Bill apparently had a deal to cut with the Gray family. In Rhodes, they get ambushed and a sniper kills Sean McGuire. Rip.
Big sad.
Like said. Bill gets captured by Lee, Jack, and 2 other deputies. Arthur and Micah make quick work of them, saving Bill before dealing with Sean and the gang's first casualty since Blackwater. That was weird timing. Anyway.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. If you go back to Caliga Hall after this mission, on the back porch you can find Tavish Gray, dead, with a letter next to him from the Edinburgh University historian Malcolm Moffat.
Mm-hmm.
Moffat?
Moffat, I think.
I think it's Moffat.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. The letter reveals that Tavish's ancestor Ross Gray wasn't an exiled Jacobite as he believed, but was in fact a spy for the Duke of Cumberland who was forced to flee from Scotland after actual Jacobites began hunting down loyalists.
Mm-hmm. And then once again, you can find that letter on the back porch of Caliga Hall. Where
Yeah, I didn't know about that letter until like maybe a couple years ago.
yeah, and of course we're kind of like doing a general overview of like these missions and stuff right now because obviously we covered them a bit more in depth in our chapter part 1, and then we will again next. Well, actually not next week, but the week after for
Part
Clemens
2
Point
of
part
chapter
2.
3.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the letter is April 3rd, 1895, Edinburgh University, from the senior professor in history. Dear Mr. Gray, thank you for your long and well-researched letter regarding your ancestor. Forgive me, I was unclear as to if he was your great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather from your missive, and his ostracizing emigration from Scotland to the colonies in the aftermath of the uprising of 1745. I hate to be the bearer of apparent bad tidings, particularly when communicating with such a passionate Scot in exile as you described yourself, but I am afraid our recordings are rather precise. I have made an extensive study on the spy networks of the Duke of Cumberland, as you may be aware. The Duke was an excellent record keeper, and it seems that the relative of whom you speak, Ross Gray, was unquestionably a well-paid informer. He was paid in both cattle and cash, and also rewarded in significant land holdings confiscated from his neighbor. That would explain why he did not leave Scotland until 1755, fully 10 years after the revolt. This was, of course, the year when a few Jacobite supporters began reprisals against the known informers in the Highlands. I am sorry if this is not the news that you were looking for. The Jacobite era was a very complicated time in Scottish history, and certainly my ascendants are divided into rebels and loyalists. Being the prodigy of a family of loyalists is certainly nothing to be ashamed of. At least I hope not. If you are ever in Edinburgh, I do hope I can show you around the university. Yours sincerely, Malcolm Moffat.
And Tavish promptly read that letter and died.
Yeah. Who knows? He fucking. I mean, there's no like actual like gunshot wound or anything. A lot of people, I think, say that he died of like a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
Which is just funny to think of because it's like he goes from bitching about Catherine Braithwaite to like John and Javier to just finding that letter and just him just being in such a shock. He just fucking has a heart attack and dies.
Yep.
And I mean, it's cool because I think you can actually find Rawson, I think even Lucille's grave in the Rhodes Cemetery.
Oh, really?
There's a lot
Right.
of like Greys and Braithwaites buried in the cemetery.
I do remember seeing Lucille's grave.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to do is like go around and look
Read
at all
all
the
the graves.
graves.
Yes.
Because even with the inscriptions, there's usually a lot of like hints to just well, whether it be actual history or like media or stuff in other games, whatnot. It's
Yeah.
cool to see.
Let us know if you want an Easter egg episode where we talk about all of the little hidden details of this game. That one's gonna be a two-parter. There's so much shit.
So much. I looked at the Red Dead wiki just to take a peek. Oh boy.
It's a lot, and
It's a lot.
there's so much. Like, I spent the first year of playing this game just finding Easter eggs, and obviously I've found a whole lot since then, but there's some that I still have never found.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the daughter at, Emerald Ranch,
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen her.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going there at the right time, but
yeah,
I haven't tried since.
yeah, I don't think you've tried since, because I know we talked about it in our Heartlands episode.
Yeah, I still haven't found her. But I haven't tried either, so
Yeah. Yeah, because I know that's just it. I found out like so many secrets and like little Easter eggs and stuff through the Strange Man's YouTube channel.
Mhm.
It's like, it sucks that it's kind of like just a a text channel just with subtitles and whatnot, but whatever, it's still, oh my god, it's great content.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Strange Man's YouTube channel gives so much good shit.
Hmm.
Sorry, hold on, let me chew this gummy in my mouth. It's not a fun gummy, it's just a regular gummy.
Dang.
I just wanted to chew it up before I start reading because I didn't wanna make this an ASMR podcast. The Braithwaites. The Braithwaites established themselves in America around 1779. By the time the 1800s came around, they had a bustling slave plantation, and the Braithwaite Manor, Oak Alley Plantation in real life, became one of the richest and most powerful in the area. After slavery became abolished in 1865, it significantly damaged both the Greys and the Braithwaites. At some point prior to 1898, the Braithwaites turned to illegally producing moonshine, becoming the dominant producer in the area of Lemoyne. Somewhere along the line, working with Maggie Fike, who controlled the moonshine business in the area, disappearing in 1892 after she was caught and burned by Reed Hickson and his revenue agents. Sometime after that, the Braithwaites recruited Maggie's former cook, Danny Lee, who was looking for protection. During the events of Red Dead Online, once the player starts the moonshine operation, Maggie has the player sabotage the Braithwaite's moonshine still, eventually leading them to Bartholomew Braithwaite, Danny Lee, and several others. So we are going to do quite a few episodes on Red Dead Online, and we're going to talk a lot about the moonshiner role
Yeah,
specifically. Hey, it's the possum!
Hi, buddy. Do you want to make an appearance? Hi, come up here. Come on.
No one wants to listen to the Greys and Braithwaites. We want to see the dogs.
We want the dog. Come up here.
Mine is currently scratching at the door. He wants out.
Oh my god. He's heavy,
He's a baby.
but he a baby.
He a baby.
Good buddies. This is
Oh,
Nipsey. This is the possum.
he's a precious boy.
Can I work?
He's like, yeah, let's work.
Alright. This is how we're recording now.
Aw, he's such a good boy.
But yeah, we want to eventually do episodes on Red Dead Online. We're thinking at least do one episode kind of generally going over the we want to eventually do one episode going over like the storyline of Red Dead Online with like Jessica Leclerc and stuff like that. And honestly, I figure we can do one whole episode just on the Moonshiners.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be a little bit harder to dedicate like a full episode to like any of the other roles just because they don't have like a storyline like this one does. And then too, I think it would be fun to try and get some of our friend group on just to kind of talk about like Red Dead Online and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that'll be really fun talking about that.
Yeah.
That'll probably happen once we finish all our chapter 6 episodes. So
Yeah,
that's
probably.
quite a ways away. But we can look forward to it. Who knows? Maybe we'll sneak it in sooner. We'll find a way. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Mix
If
things up.
people want it bad enough.
Yeah, that's just it. If people want it soon enough.
I want it. I'm excited for those episodes. Continuing where we left off, I'm fully planning on leaving the Nipsey part of this in.
Oh, yeah.
And people are just going to be so confused as to why we're calling him a possum until they get next week's episode.
Oh my god, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
It'll all make sense next week.
Oh,
Stay
yeah.
tuned.
Back to
Continuing
it,
where I left off. Yep. Continuing where I left off. In Chapter 3, after Dutch, Arthur, and Bill steal the moonshine from the Lemoyne Raiders with the help of Lee and Archibald, Hosea and Arthur go to the Braithwaite Manor to try and sell the moonshine back to where it came from. Initially, the family's hostile, pointing guns at the pair until Catherine Braithwaite steps in and gives them $10 if they bring the wagon into Rhodes and gives it away at the Gray's saloon for free. After that mission, Sean and Hosea go back to the manor where Catherine tells Sean and Arthur to go to the Grays and burn the tobacco fields at Caliga Hall, being promised gold in return. At the same time, this is when the deal is made with Tavish Gray to steal the horses. After the Braithwaites realize they've been played by the Vanderlyn gang, they kidnap Jack Marston, giving him to Angela Bronte and Saint Denis as they're in debt to him. After Sean's death, the gang storms the manor in arguably the best mission in Red Dead Redemption 2, Blood Feuds, Ancient and Modern. You can find the gold shield with gold shield?
Yeah, there's a gold shield on the mantle of the fireplace with the Braithwaite family's crest on it. And
Am I
then
dumb? Have I
to
never found that?
because it's in the room, like as soon as you enter the house, it's gonna be
Yeah.
like right to the right in the room that you enter during like when you go to the house with Jose and Sean when you meet up with him. It's in that same room, but in that room there's also a letter to Angela Bronte. I didn't know about him until I think like last year. I was trying to like find more information and stuff like on the Braithwaites and whatnot, and I found a strange man video, funny enough, of course, and it had those, and I'm like, oh, interesting. But the letter reads, Catherine Braithwaite, Braithwaite Manor, Scarlet Meadows, Lemoyne. Dear Senior Bronte, thank you for your message of last week. I trust you know that I always appreciate your candor. I would, however, urge you to reconsider our two proud and ancient families have worked together successfully for 5 years now. We have always provided a quality product and paid our debts. You, in turn, have been the most valued of customer. Now, when faced with a small cash flow problem and a minor disruption in supply, you are threatening to derail a successful business relationship. Out of respect for you, I will not allow you to do so without a fight. We cover our debts shortly, I assure you of that. I agree they have grown bigger, but we will pay the interest within the quarter. My spendthrift middle son has reformed his ways. This will not continue as for the supply problems that disrupted business. That is a matter we have resolved entirely, as I told you furthermore.
What is the thing that one of her sons has resolved or whatever?
I have no clue.
I want more information about that.
Same.
It's funny how like it's just a fictional game, but like there's so many little details and like so many theories and things that just make it feel so lifelike.
Yeah.
That like we'll be like, I want the family history of the Grays and Braithwaites. And it's like it's a video game.
Yeah. Oh, also to note, I just remembered it. Underneath the staircase in the Braithwaite Manor, you can actually find a full family photo of the Braithwaites, and it even has Gertrude Braithwaite, who's the Braithwaite that's locked in the outhouse, like
Wow.
as like a little kid.
I've never seen that.
It was really cool. Again, it's something I found when I was doing research, and I was like, that is really cool.
That is really cool.
But of course, during Blood Feuds Ancient and Modern, the gang kills the entire family and burns the manor down after they don't find Jack. And I hate that I always think of it, but I'm like, man, it would be so fucked up if Jack was still in the manor.
Dude, when I played that the first time, I was like, hang on, we can't just burn this to the ground. What if he's hiding in a closet somewhere? Like, did we really check everywhere? I don't think we checked everywhere. Like, what if he's hiding in a closet and we're just burning the manor to the ground? I was panicking about this the first time I played it. I was like, this is fucked up.
I mean, and the score is, oh my god, phenomenal.
Oh, the music in that
It's
mission
so
is
good. I mean,
beautiful.
we're gonna gush over it in our
We
chapter.
gush over all of the music in this game on a very frequent basis.
Yes. I wish I knew more about like music and like scores and stuff, because I'm like, I would so love to do a video or an episode on like the music of it. Like it would honestly be cool. Like if we could get like Woody Jackson or Bill Elm or somebody.
I was gonna say I would love to have Woody Jackson on here.
That would be cool.
That'd be so cool.
It's like, I don't know shit about music. I mean, I kind of do because I was a band kid, but
you know more about music than I do. I mean, I was in orchestra 4th grade to senior year, but
I know how to read it. That's it.
I would love that though.
Yes. But of course, Dutch drags Catherine down the stairs, and Catherine's just like, oh yeah, give him to Angela Bronte. And after that, we see Catherine run inside the house when it's on fire. And you can actually go back inside the manor after you're back in like Freyrealm, and you can loot her corpse, and it'll give you her brooch. And then nearby, there's actually a hidden lockbox that you can find a gold bar in. And I think there might also be a glitch with that where you can like somehow glitch it. There's a lot of glitches when it comes to like the gold bars to get them like infinitely.
I never knew that about that one, but also I forgot that I was going to I found the letter that Beau is writing to Penelope.
Oh yeah.
Because you can go into photo mode and you can see where he's writing it. His handwriting is really hard to read. Okay, so there's also like the part where you can read the actual letter that you give. I couldn't get that part from the save that I had because I was just going back in and replaying the mission, so I wasn't able to get the letter. But the journal entry, again, his handwriting is so hard to read, but he drew a picture of her and it says, "Oh, Penelope, you are my wise Penelope, and I hope to be your brave Odysseus. It is as if my, I don't know what that word is. We're mere miles from something else, yet the ground between here as inescapable?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
As
that's inescapable.
any something sea, I would gladly suffer shipwrecks and desert islands to be with you." And then there's just like something else. I couldn't read it because there's like a wooden board through it, but it says something about suitors. If it meant something, we could share a kiss. Penelope, 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 my love, my life, my home, my wife? Question mark. At first, I almost read my homie.
My
Penelope,
homie.
my homie.
What's up?
And then the letter says something some time ago. Sorry, I did not answer at an earlier date. Unfortunately, I was unable to sit something shit. I don't know. I can't read that. It's like so hard to read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that's if you go into photo mode when you do the mission, like before you start talking to Beau, when you go to Caliga Hall to talk to him behind that building, before you go take the letter and the bracelet to Penelope, before you go into the mission, if you pause, go into photo mode, then you can see the letter and his journal. And the photo of Penelope it's a good drawing, but it's not very flattering.
Yeah, and like
Sorry, Beau.
there's also like a doodle of like some sort of like flower, and then I think of like what's supposed to be like Caliga Hall itself or something like that.
It's just like a house.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Caliga Hall because I think he's trying to say that like she is his home, and
Right.
I don't know. There's that. I tried to read it. It's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And so in chapters, fast forwarding, because of course that's kind of the end for now of like the Greys and Braithwaites, because, well, Greys are all dead, and then all the Braithwaites are dead, except for really Penelope, and except there's still like a few like Braithwaite workers and stuff around if you go back to like Braithwaite Manor.
I don't think those are actual Braithwaites, though. I think those are just the workers.
Yeah, same.
Which, who's paying them at that point?
Right? Yeah, it's like, who are you?
Why are you all staying around if everything got burned to the ground and everyone's dead?
Yeah, that's just it. It's like you're working on a manor that has nothing there. It's just a pile of rubble.
And they get mad if you ride through there, too.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they're still like scripted like it's chapter 4. Or chapter 3.
Right.
But in chapter 6, like as soon as Arthur wakes up from another brutal death, Penelope sends Arthur a letter saying that like she's being held in the cabin on what remains of the Braithwaite Manor, kind of like hoping to get out. Like she's locked up there because of like her role in like the women's suffrage movement, and that like they killed Olive Calhoun, who was the leader of that movement. And I get the message they're trying to send for that like women's suffrage mission, but man, I hate it. It's so
It's
slow.
just such a slow mission, man.
It's like, other than that, it's fine. It's just like, it's so slow.
There's so many, like, really slow missions like that, and I'm just like I hate it because, like, I don't have the attention span for those ones.
Yeah,
So,
that
like
too, it's like, we've played it so many times.
yeah, and it's like the one where you, like, go look at the alligators in chapter 4, or, like, when
Mhm.
you have to go get the skiff and
Get the
get
skiff
jewels,
and
and
get Jules back.
that one is so painfully slow
Mhm.
that, like, my ADD kicks in, and I'm, like I'm on my phone, and then, like,
Mhm.
I'm just, like, holding the stick forward so he's moving, and
Yep.
then either he gets lost or they're telling him to stand still, and he's still walking, and then an alligator sees him and eats him, and
Uh-huh.
I have to start all over.
I mean, hey, I always let Dutch get eaten by that alligator.
That can happen?
Yeah, if you fail the mission, when the legendary bull gator comes up, like after you get Jules to the skiff and like you have to shoot at the alligator that first time, if you don't shoot at it enough, it'll come up and fucking fight Dutch.
I never knew that. I wanna go back and play that just to find out. I just wanna see if that's true.
Right? Oh, it's
Not
great.
that
I
I'm
found
doubting you
again,
and your
I
knowledge.
didn't know about it until like a few years ago. I was watching a YouTube video and like somebody failed the mission and I was like, that can happen? I'm like, I need
Hmm,
photos.
right?
So then I had to do that just so I could get photos. Anyway, back to the Grace and the Braithwaites. Arthur gets the letter, and it's just, "Dear sir, you were once very kind to Beau and myself, and it pains me to ask you to show us further kindness, but I have nowhere else to turn and nobody else whom I can impose. Of course, I will pay you handsomely for your troubles. My family have turned quite mad and are threatening to send me away to stop my work, which they say is disgracing them, as if their history of absolute moral depravity, utter debauchery, and perpetual drunkenness did not disgrace them enough. I must escape, except I am kept prisoner here. Can you help? Most days I can be found at the cabins on the plantation. The main house and all it stood for, thankfully no more. Yours faithfully, Penelope Braithwaite."
What family is holding her hostage there if they're all dead?
Yeah. It's like, that is such a great question. And that's the other thing. Going
I
back to,
mean, I
like,
guess I guess
the
technically some of the Braithwaites that are attacking you end up running off through the fields at the end, so
yeah,
maybe
well,
don't
even
kill all
then,
of
like,
them?
it's like, they're the guards.
Oh.
Because you kill all the brothers, or all the sons,
Yeah,
because it's
so
only Garrett, Gareth, Bartholomew,
what family is keeping her there?
and I think a few others, but yeah,
That
like,
cares that much to keep her held hostage over the women's suffrage movement after their entire family was killed and their mansion was burned to the ground.
yeah, keep in mind months prior, because it's like, okay, this is after, like, Guarma and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's probably at least been another 2, 3 months.
And they're holding her there because of her participation in the suffrage movement.
Mhm.
Like, they're mad about that, but not the fact that, like, everyone's dead and the house burned to the ground. They're
Right.
more mad that she participated in the women's suffrage movement.
Uh-huh. But yeah, it's
Get
interesting
your
too.
priorities straight.
For real. Like, the photo that's taken that's hanging, like, under the stairs is actually taken in front of, like, one of those cabins. And I'm like, "Why is it taken in front of the one of those cabins and
Why
not
would it not be the manor?
in front of the manor?" But it's at the same time, it does have, like, all of their, workers or, like, slaves in the photo
In
too.
the picture?
Yeah, which is kinda odd. I
That
mean,
is odd.
considering, yeah, the time and whatnot.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would they not take it in front of the manor?
Yeah,
It's like a over 100-year-old mansion that they're, like, so proud of.
right.
Why would they take a picture of the family in front of a little cabin?
For real, like, yeah, that's kinda
Again, Braithwaite's get your priorities straight.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, you'll get that letter, and then you can go back down to the Braithwaite's property and, pick up Penelope, and you can actually take Penelope to the outhouse where
You can?
you didn't know this?
No!
Oh my god. You
Don't spoil it for me. I wanna find out. Insert that clip here. We're gonna get on Red Dead, and I'm gonna replay that mission. It is in the mission, right?
Yep. You start the
Okay.
mission, and as soon
Nope.
as that
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm just telling
Don't.
you how to get there.
Okay,
That's it.
okay.
As soon as you start that mission and that first cutscene ends, take her straight to that outhouse and just sit there. the dialogue will play out.
I never knew this. Okay. Insert that clip here.
You don't want to mess around over there.
I do want to mess around over here. Look, Penelope.
That's my poor cousin. There's no help in her. Believe me, I've tried.
Oh, that's all she says?
Leave her.
What?
Oh, she's just like, that's my poor cousin. I've tried to help her. Believe me, I tried, or whatever.
I knew how
There's
you
no help.
Yeah.
treated enemies.
Yep.
Now I know how you treat Cam too.
It's a great shame
Yeah,
on
it's
a
really,
family that's
unfortunately,
shamed
not that
already.
deep.
I told myself she was better off here with family than in a sanatorium, but maybe she isn't. I'll do what I can from Boston for her.
Sure you will. God damn.
But you find that outhouse, and that is Gertrude, like we talked about. She's disfigured, mentally unwell.
How long was she locked in this outhouse?
Right? Well, because it's interesting because you can go there too, just as Arthur, to like investigate it, and she'll just be saying a whole bunch of random numbers too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
There,
ends up
there
being...
is something with that though. What is it?
Yeah, I know the Strange Man did another video on that. It's some sort of code, but I forget what it is, but it does talk about something.
Is it like the Aztec symbols in Blackwater that translate to "Blessed are the peacemakers" or some shit?
It's not directly tied to that. I think it's tied to like
Oh,
it's something else, because that's of course its own thing, but I think it does tie to something. I'll have to maybe watch that video. So with Gertrude, of course, she's Catherine Braithwaite's only daughter. Like I said, she's like mentally unwell, and she's like disfigured, has like a major cleft lip and whatnot. Penelope talks about like sending her to a sanatorium.
does she say
Or-
like what was wrong with her? Like, did they just try to send her to a sanatorium because she had a cleft lip?
Well, because they didn't end up sending her to a sanatorium. They were going to, but they didn't because they're in fear of like their family's name being tarnished. So they were like, "Hey, let's just lock her inside an outhouse."
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And then Penelope like talks about how like she's gonna try and help her, but as we learn in the epilogue, this is very much so a blatant fucking lie. Because you can go back to the Braithwaite property and you can find that outhouse. And if you look inside, Gertrude is nothing but a pile of bones.
You know what I wish you could have done as Arthur if you find her there? You should have been allowed to like shoot the lock off, and then Gertrude like just runs out and like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like runs away or like runs off into the lake or something.
That would have been kind of a good jump scare, is like if you don't look in there, but
Yeah.
you just shoot the lock off first, it breaks open and she just comes running, tackling Arthur, and then just continues to run off.
That would be awesome.
That would be a really good jump scare.
It would have been.
But
I don't like that we didn't get the option to try and help her.
yeah, well, I mean, there's not even
Let her out.
I don't think there's even a lock on the outhouse. I think it's literally just chains wrapped around it.
Okay, it has to be locked for the chains to be on it. We should have been
Right.
allowed to shoot the chains. We can shoot the chains off that one prisoner that's wandering in the woods. Why can't we shoot the chains off the outhouse and let Gertrude go?
Right. But in this in the mission, we take Penelope back into Rhodes to meet up with Bo, and you meet up with Alden and you end up buying the tickets for the train, and as you walk outside you run into Bo's cousins, Ian and Scott, and they of course try and pull Bo away, and they get into a fight with Arthur, of course. And after you beat them the fuck up, you get Penelope and Bo on the train, and Penelope's cousins, which, bitch, your family's dead.
Seriously, the whole
like-
family freaking died. Where are all of these cousins coming from?
For real.
The Grays and Braithwaites are like all dead at this point. Where the fuck are all these people coming from? And why do they care?
Literally, like, so they all start following, like, the train. Oh my god.
Oh my god, a train.
And Arthur, like, fights him off. And then the fucking conductor of the train gets scared shitless and just fucking jumps off the train and abandons it. So then Arthur has to drive the train all the way to Riggs Station, which doesn't make any sense because they say, oh, the train's going to Saint Denis.
Mm-hmm.
But they get to the station, and Penelope offers Arthur a sapphire bracelet, and Arthur's like, it is like real or whatever, like the Braithwaite treasure, and you can either choose to accept it or reject it. And of course, if you refuse, you get a gain in honor. And so then I can't remember, because I know if you take it, you can sell it. I forget how much it sells for, because I usually,
I feel like it's like $40 or
that
30 or something.
sounds right.
I think it's like $30 or $40.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Right,
like,
that might be.
I don't think it's a lot.
Pretty sure that's what it was, but it's been a while since I
But
did that.
because you can, yeah, I forget how much the, like, even Catherine's brooches too. I think that might be around the same price.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But after this, Arthur puts them on a stagecoach and tells the driver to like head to Boston. Gives Penelope,
He gives or makes the driver give Penelope his gun
yeah,
because of the jewels on her person.
and then yeah, they go up to Boston, and you never hear of them again.
I think it's funny that like Penelope tells Arthur that they are thinking they're gonna go to Boston, and Arthur's like, "Yeah, that'll be good. They'll like you there or something." And it's like, when the fuck was Arthur ever in Boston? How many times are we gonna say this in this podcast where we're like, where the fuck did this gang go?
Well, that's the only time that
They've been
Boston
all
is
over the
talked
place.
about. So I'm like,
I know.
I don't.
And then like Penelope talks about Ohio, and Arthur says that he's never been to Ohio, but it's like Arthur and or Dutch and Hosea met in Ohio.
Well, yeah, but that was in 77. That was before Arthur joined. Because they picked Arthur up in 78.
They couldn't have gone that far.
I
And
mean, do you know how far
okay,
they
yeah,
got?
okay. Yeah, that's
Just
fair.
like, we have tried to
And
figure
like
this out before. Dude, we could make an entire episode of just us complaining about the
seriously, like
gang and like where they've
the
been and trying to figure it out with the US map.
yeah, trying to figure out where the gang has gone breaks my brain every time we start talking about it. When we start trying to like map out everywhere they've gone and like what time frame, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I know
Mm-mm.
it's fictional. Everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, duh, it's a fictional game." Like, okay, yeah, but I still wanna make sense of it. This
Yeah.
game is so immersive that I want to make sense of the
Mhm.
entire timeline of the gang and their lives.
Yeah, and it's like, of course, like roads and stuff were like different and whatnot, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you're traveling by horse.
Yeah.
Like,
See, that's the thing.
we're
It's
not
like
traveling by cars.
they go from like Ohio to Chicago to Tucson to Montana down to oh yeah, and then at some point they go to Reno.
Mhm.
Forgot about that. So then at some point they go to Reno, and then they go to Montana, and then they go down to where the
Missouri.
fuck Missouri, and then we're back up into the mountains somewhere. I'm assuming like that
And
has
that's
to be
not
like
even like Hosea's shit, because it's like, okay,
oh
Hosea
yeah.
was like Milwaukee, San Francisco,
And again, Louisiana, because he was in that area with Bessie.
with Bessie, yeah.
Like, you guys were on horses. How were you traveling this far, this fast?
Mhm.
Those are some fast ponies.
Right?
Anyway, I don't want to keep going on and on about that.
No,
You want to talk about Hatfields and McCoys now?
I didn't write down like a whole lot. I kind of stopped after basically like Chauncey remarried in 81, because basically like after that they ended up getting into like a giant, is when the like major like blood feud and like the war and stuff basically started between them. And I'm like, okay, that happens, but again, we don't see that happen with like the Greys and the Braithwaites that much. So I'm like, eh.
You have written about okay, so the Hatfields were a family living on the West Virginia side of Fort Tuck, a part of a river between Kentucky and West Virginia. The Hatfields were led by William Anderson Hatfield Devil Anse. And I do have something else to say about Devil Anse. He had a saddlebred. just just a stupid fact because I'm a horse girl and I rode saddlebreds for a long time. I'm a saddlebred girly. And I mean, saddlebreds are expensive horses. I feel like it needs to be talked about. It's kind of a small world now, but the saddlebred world has just gotten so small, and it's cool that Devil Anse horse was a saddlebred. Anyway, um, The Hatfields were more affluent than their rivals also were connected well politically too. The Evelance Hatfield's timbering operation was the main source of the family's wealth as he employed dozens, including some McCoys. McCoys were a Kentucky family living on the other side of Tug Fork. They were a lower to middle class family under the leadership of Randolph McCoy, who owned a 300-acre farm. Both of these feuding families had a lot of overlap. They both were involved in manufacturing and selling moonshine. They both fought with the Confederates during the Civil War. There was one exception with Asa Harmon McCoy, Randolph's brother, who fought for the Union. Of course, because of this, he was seen as a traitor. During the Civil War, William Hatfield and Randolph McCoy served in the Logan Wildcats, part of the Confederate Home Guard, in the fall of 1863. There were multiple attacks from the Kentucky Home Guard against the West Virginia side of Tug River, resulting in the death of William H. Francis Jr., Bill France, after the Logan Wildcats surrounded his home. In early December 1864, Asa McCoy was released early from the Army due to a broken leg. He returned home to a warning from Jim Vance, the uncle of Devil Anse, that he could expect a visit from the Wildcats. On January 7th, 1865, Asa hid in a cave after hearing gunshots. The Wildcats followed him there and shot him. At first, it was Devil Anse Hatfield that was suspected, but was confirmed to have been at home sick during the murder. After that, it was widely believed that Jim Vance was the one that killed Asa. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think you are.
It was after this point when the relationship between these two families really started to decline. Throughout the next few years, the families feuded more and more. In 1880, John C. Hatfield met Rosanna McCoy. They hit it off immediately and would disappear for hours together. Rosanna fled to West Virginia to try and be with John C., but was followed by a posse of McCoys. They arrived at the Hatfield home and arrested John C. because of the bootlegging warrants. Devlance soon gathered his own posse to get his son back. After this, Rosanna and John C. remained apart even though she was pregnant. Both the Hatfields and McCoys refused them to marry, but John C. soon moved and married Nancy McCoy, the cousin of Rosanna, in May of 1881.
Yeah, like, damn.
So there was like a real life Beau and Penelope there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's kind of where I stopped typing in the document. Roseanne's father, like, he wouldn't accept her or like the baby and just absolutely refused to speak to her like at all. And
that was
then
her father or baby's father? Baby
her
daddy.
father.
Her father refused, so he just like disowned her because she got pregnant with
With a McCoy. Yeah.
with a McCoy. Oh.
Yep. And then her mother like arranged for her to
You mean
live.
at Hatfield because she's a McCoy.
Or yeah.
So she got pregnant with a Hatfield and her father was like, "You're dead to me."
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And
Just making sure I
then-
got that correct.
Yeah, her mother arranged for her to live with her Aunt Betty in near Springfield. And it gets really sad because her baby ended up being a girl named Sarah. She ended up dying at 8 months old because of
Aw.
measles.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then Rosanna, she was said to be heartbroken, and she just never emotionally recovered from it, and ended up dying at the age of 29.
Holy shit.
Kind of after that is when like the relationship. I mean, of course, it was already like declining at like the turn of the 80s. It just continued to like get worse and worse. And in August of 82, there was a event in Kentucky, and 3 of Randolph's sons got in a bit of a dispute with some of the brothers of Devil Anse, and there was stabbing and shooting and blah blah blah, and
Damn.
yeah, super just bloody. And this is where kind of where stuff gets like super war wise and like super like bloody and shit. I mean, nothing really is too terribly sad for like the next couple of years. On January 1st, 1888, the Hatfields planned to kind of hopefully end the feud. They just full on opened fire on Randolph's home.
Damn.
And yeah, that house was also burned to the ground, which, I mean, I guess also, kind of a reference, I guess, to, the Braithwaite Manor.
Yeah. I guess there is a little bit more overlap between Grays and Braithwaites and Hatfields and McCoys than I thought.
Yeah.
Kind of.
To a degree, but I still feel like it's
Like,
not.
definitely. I just mean, like, there's definitely, like, obvious inspiration there. Like, there's
Oh, for sure.
more to it than what I thought. We don't have to really get too far into that, I guess,
No,
because
because
we're already pretty far into this episode, but
yeah.
there is an episode of Last Podcast on the Left that does way more in-depth analysis and, like, discussion of the Hatfields and McCoys. Their episode is so good on it. So I don't know that I really feel the need to make an episode about Hatfields and McCoys. And, like, this is kind of, like, the extent that we're gonna get into it, at least for now.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, like we say all the time, I'm like, if y'all really want it, we'll do it.
Yeah, I'm
But
definitely open to requests.
yeah, as of now, I mean, we don't really have anything. But yeah, if you guys want like any specific like episodes, of course we're gonna continue with our chapter breakdowns and things like that. But if you want any like filler episodes, so to speak,
I don't know that
or
I call them
like
filler episodes, but, like, I mean, real life inspiration,
but yeah, real life
things like that.
outlaws,
Real life outlaws.
Western
I
movies.
really, really can't wait to do our episode on Bellstar,
Yes, that is going to
aka
be
Black
fun.
Bell's inspiration.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Especially, yeah, if they do, of course, have like a real life counterpart like in
Mhm.
Red Dead or with movies. Once we get into chapter 6, eventually, we're going to be covering Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid because that cliff scene is like heavily inspired from that movie. And, well, of course, Dutch's speech is, directly taken from the one that he has in Red Dead 1. But that is also just a really good movie. And there's a bunch of other movies too that would be just a really good fit because I think eventually doing those like outlaw videos, like the Jesse James video or episode, that was really fun to research. And it's like we honestly didn't even talk about the movie that terribly much.
If you haven't listened to our Jesse James episode yet, go do it.
Go do it.
That was a fun episode to film.
Yes. Yeah, and we got a fucking dope ass poster from it.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to call it and wrap it up from here. So
Alright.
stay tuned for what's to come. Find out why Nipsey is a possum and not a dog. And
Yeah, next week's episode. Yeah, we got some really cool stuff happening.
you're going to love next week's episode.
Next
It's going to
week.
be so good. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Whoa,
we got
my
some awesome
throat demon
merch
just came out.
dropping.
Insert the outro. That's it for us today, Outlaws. Thank you so much for spending time with us here at the Outlaw Haven. It really means a lot to us. We upload every Thursday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, so if you like what you heard, make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss what's coming next. Also, please take a moment to leave us 5 stars because it's the best way to support what we do. I'm Sam.
I'm Zaya.
And this is the Outlaw Haven.
This world has a lot of ugly in it, but it sure as hell has a lot of beauty. You eat babies.